In this New World build guide, I'm going to be covering the Life Staff Healer build, which focuses on healing expeditions and supporting your group with AoE damage via the Ice Gauntlet. This is a PvE build that is mainly used for expeditions, but can also be used for more challenging PvE areas like those with elites, and can be adapted for PvP as well. If you've been looking for a good Life Staff healing build, then this guide is for you. The way this build works is that when your party pulls a group of enemies, you'll drop Ice Storm to AoE and slow enemies, and then you'll swap to your Life Staff to begin healing. You either use Beacon or Sacred Ground depending on what enemies you're facing, and then you'll use Light's Embrace to spot heal as necessary. You can swap back to Ice Storm whenever it's off cooldown to help with DPS, and you will use Entomb to restore your mana if you're looking like you're going to run out. Ice Pylon is there to create a frosted area, which can be used to gain the benefit of passives like Refreshing Frost. Because you will primarily be using a Life Staff, and Life Staff healing is dependent on weapon damage, you'll need to place a significant amount of points into Focus. You can place points into Intelligence as well for more Ice Gauntlet damage, but it's better if you place an Amber Gem into your Ice Gauntlet instead. This will change your percentage of your Ice Gauntlet damage to Nature, which is a far better damage type than Ice, since it's less resistant on average, as well as increasing your overall damage. Place some points into Constitution so that you don't die too easily. I like to take Constitution to at least 50 for the increase in consumable healing, but you can take it a bit more or less as long as you find you're not dying. It probably wouldn't hurt to take this to 100 by max level. The skills I'll list here are set up for expeditions, and you can shift these as necessary for solo content or for PvP. I'll make some recommendations on how to do that at the end of this section. First up is Life Staff skills. Sacred Ground. This skill creates an AoE heal over time at the location specified. This can be either based off the positioning of another player or simply ground targeted. Usually you want to alternate between this and Beacon to make sure a heal over time hot is constantly on your group, but in dire circumstances you can cast both for some really good healing. Beacon. This skill puts an AoE heal over time on the enemy so that all players near it get healed. This works best when used against hard-to-kill enemies in expeditions since it wears off when the enemy dies. However, you can also hit your tank with it if needed to place this on him. Again, try to alternate between Beacon and Sacred Ground so that some healing is always occurring on your group. Light's Embrace. Your spot heal used to top up your team or heal those that have taken more damage than you'd like. It has a very short cooldown but a fairly significant mana cost, meaning you should try to use it sparingly and let the HOTS do the work when possible. You can scroll through targets to heal with your mouse wheel and target yourself easily with the control button. Absolved is a must-have passive because it allows you to attack with a Light Staff without using mana, and that will save you a ton of mana. Besides this, you want to look for any passives that increase healing done and received, and eventually take the Divine Blessing capstone in the healing skill tree. Ice Gauntlet skills, Ice Storm. This is a rather large AoE that deals solid damage and slows enemies in the area. You can lead with this to help add some damage to your group, and then swap to Life Staff to begin healing. Swap back when it's off cooldown and use it again if you need to. Note, don't take the last upgrade to this skill or the AoE will end when swapping weapons. This is a bug that should be patched in future updates. Entombed. This skill is really good for recovering mana in a hurry. Use it when you begin to get low on mana and see an opening where your party is not in immediate danger. You can also use it if somehow you gain aggro on a dangerous enemy protecting you in a pinch. This is especially good in PvP where this happens often. Ice Pylon. Though you won't use this skill all that often early on, it can do some damage as well as create a frosted area that can provide benefits if you have specific passives like Refreshing Frost and Quick Frost. Don't worry about it while you're still learning the build, and add it when you're more familiar with it. The weapons you want for this build are a Life Staff and an Ice Gauntlet. Look for ones that have the maximum possible damage, not only to increase your damage, but also your healing with your Life Staff, since healing is based on weapon damage in many cases. Look for weapons with focus on them to further boost this stat, as well as crit chance and crit damage. Outgoing healing is also nice if you can find it on a Life Staff. Be sure to drop an Amber Gem into your Ice Gauntlet for maximum impact and a Diamond into your Life Staff for increased healing if possible. These aren't a must, but they can make you much more effective. Lighter armor increases the amount of healing you do, so you'll likely want to be under the light armor threshold for this build, but you can get away with medium if you would like a bit more protection easily enough. You can wear a medium chest and the rest light to stay under this, and get more protection fairly easily. Look for focus and constitution on your armor in order to help increase your damage and healing as well as survivability. Anything that reduces cooldowns is also nice since you often have gaps in your rotation that makes your party members vulnerable, and anything you can do to lessen that helps a lot. Final tips. This build works rather well in expeditions where enemies are attacking other players but can struggle in solo PvE questing when facing multiple enemies. Make sure to pick off as many targets from range as you can and be sure to use Ice Storm to soften up groups of enemies. Make sure to use Entomb if you need when things look bad and you need mana, and eat some food just before you use it to regain HP more quickly while inside. You can use mana recovery food in expeditions to help keep your mana up, and if you have a good group, then you shouldn't need to worry about healing yourself much. However, if you find you're taking a lot of damage, healing food may be a better option. You can manage your mana easily enough with Entombed, so it's not such a huge deal. If you plan to PvP with this build, I highly recommend that you use at least medium armor to help stay alive a bit longer, but you don't have to. Also, it's a good idea to swap out Ice Pylon for Ice Shower. Ice Shower will slow enemies, allowing you to fight from behind it safely, and is really good for harassing other players, particularly in smaller engagements. Learning to use it can be game-changing. Stay tuned for more New World build guides, and be sure to check out the New World Wiki for more information about the game. What did you guys think of our healing build guide? What healing setup are you using? Let us know in the comments below.